Hi farm friends, welcome to Haven Acres. I'm Stacy. Thank you for joining me this morning in our Maine homestead. It is a beautiful spring day and I want to share with you some perennials that are blooming now in zone 5A, 5B.
We practice organic gardening here at Haven Acres, and bulbs are a great addition to an organic flower bed. Fall planted bulbs are technically not perennials. However, they sure do act like it and bring lots of beauty to the garden. You can plant bulbs in a neat, orderly fashion, or you can simply scatter them on your lawn and plant them wherever they land for a more natural effect.
And as first generation farmers, we are also passionate about helping you with your organic gardening journey.
Leave a comment and share your favorite spring perennial. The phlox is looking beautiful on the stone walls and ready for I think that's called carpet of snow, that kind of bluish leaf that will have beautiful white flowers on it soon. The rock wall is full sun, whereas this little garden is only partial sun, and the phlox will do perfectly in both locations. Phlox is a great addition to any garden. Ajuga is another perennial which is a beautiful ground cover. Periwinkle, or vinca, is a vining ground cover that is so unassuming you wouldn't even notice it's there until these perfect purple flowers pop up in the spring. Periwinkle can also handle shade and sun. The wild violets are simply stunning. For a beautiful ground cover, dig up wild violets and plant them anywhere in your yard.
Today I'm sharing some simple but beautiful perennial flowers that you can grow even if you're just getting started. The lily of the valley are blooming right now. Did you know that they come in both white and pink?
If you're just starting out, you want to start with perennials that are pretty effortless, ones that you plant and really don't have to maintain. Lily of the valley can handle sun or shade, and it multiplies fast. And the scent of lily of the valley is like no other. It is so intense. In fact, spring is full of intense smelling flowers. Lily of the valley and lilacs are two of the best. Make sure you cut some of your flowers and bring them inside to enjoy. Lilac bushes can be trimmed up and kept nice and tidy, or you can allow them to grow into a big hedge and create a masterpiece around your property. Solomon seal is a very unique flower this time of year. It has big arches and really unique white flowers. And it can take sun or shade. This wild geranium flower is poking up through the hosta. The actual leaves look more like this. They're so pretty.
Today I'm talking about perennials, which are plants that you plant once and they come back year after year. You honestly get your biggest bang for the buck with perennials, and most of the time they multiply and you can divide them. So you buy them once, and before you know it, your yard is full of beautiful color year after year.
Another wonderful thing about perennials is that they multiply so heavily, people are generally eager to split them and give them to you. This hyssop comes back and it has a beautiful flower for tea. And it's just a lovely all-around plant. Those chives, same thing. I actually grew those by seed a few years ago, but they could easily be divided and shared. We have echinacea in here. We have yarrow in here. That yarrow is going to have beautiful medicinal flowers on it, and it's easily grown. Someone gave me these little yellow violets. They are so pretty. I don't really know their name. Speaking of getting plants from friends, this is lamb's ear, and you can tell because it has a really soft, velvety appearance, and it has a beautiful pink flower on it when it blooms. However, all of this tall stuff around the lamb's ear, well, you really don't want that taking over your garden. I can't imagine that anyone would give you flowers or perennial or shrubs or trees to plant in your yard and intentionally have weeds or very aggressive plants in with what they're giving you. However, let me tell you, it does happen, and that's a road you really don't want to go down. At our last home, I had someone give me some beautiful perennials because as a new gardener, I was super excited to get things planted in the ground. However, what they didn't know and what I didn't know was that within the pot of flowers that they gave me was also a very aggressive weed. And it completely took over a beautiful flower bed that we had made out in front of our house. And over the course of 3 years, completely destroyed everything I had worked so hard on. The roots went so deep and they were so scattered that you just honestly couldn't pull them out. The more you pulled them out, the more roots broke, the more plants grew. It was horrible. So please, just be super cautious when accepting plants from other people or buying plants at little roadside stands, somebody's yard, they just dug them up, or at different sales. I'm not discouraging you from getting plants in that way because it's a super frugal and effective way to fill your yard with beauty. I'm just saying, be very cautious and make sure you look through the pot and make sure that there is no other vegetation sprouting in there. Just do your best. Another effective way to add early spring color to your garden is with bushes and trees. The azalea or rhododendron, the forsythia, the crabapple, fruit trees, and my favorite, the magnolia, are all beautiful bushes for early spring color. When you're considering flowers, perennial flowers, for your home, your property, don't forget fruit trees. Fruit begins as a flower, so every fruit tree or fruit bush is also going to have flowers before they fruit. So you get double enjoyment from that fruit tree. First you get the flowers, and then you will get the fruit. I wanted to point out this quince tree because although the flowers aren't exactly early spring bloomers, as you can see, they're coming right along, and they are going to have magnificent pink peach flowers and then beautiful bright golden yellow quince in the fall. Pretty soon, this arbor will be full of those beautiful leaves. Sometimes the leaves themselves are pretty enough to plant for color.
If by the time you're seeing this video, it is past early spring, don't you worry. I'm going to show you a few of my favorite perennials that are up next, and they will start blooming at the beginning of June to mid-June. There's beautiful perennials that bloom all summer and fall long. I've got you covered.
Some people call this a peony, some people call it a peony. But either way, these little tiny buds are going to turn into giant, beautiful flowers. There are so many varieties of roses, and they are starting to set buds now. And they'll be blooming before you know it. In my opinion, lady's mantle is just as beautiful without the flowers as it is with. But it will be flowering beautiful golden yellow flowers soon. Those chives that we talked about earlier, look at those flowers. Hiding in this big lilac bush is another one of my favorites. I have to dig it up and move it out. This is columbine, and if it were out of this bush and in the sunshine, it would have beautiful pink and white flowers on it right now.
It's starting to rain again, so I'm going to call this a wrap. I thank you so much for joining us here at our Maine homestead, Haven Acres, where we are in Zone 5A, 5B. I hope that you've enjoyed this video on some of our early blooming perennials and a sneak peek at what's to come in Zone 5A, 5B for easy keeping perennials. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you like this type of video, leave a comment and let me know. I'll be sure to make more videos showing what's to come as we go through the summer. Perennials are where it's at.